Mr. Fuentes, who formed the company 11 days before he got the contract for $3 million. Turns out the masks were made in China, and it turns out they weren't adequate for using in a healthcare setting. They were the N95 masks that we've all heard about. Next up is another interesting lawsuit against the Trump administration. Now, in the beginning of the administration, in the beginning of the COVID crisis, they were spending money like a drunken sailor. Although, as someone reminded me, as Ronald Reagan used to say, don't compare government spending money to a drunken sailor, because drunken sailors, at least they spend their own money. Well, in this case, we spent $3 million on masks that we couldn't use. And we gave it to, through the Bureau of Indian Affairs in the Department of, associated with the Health and Human Services. They were trying to buy masks for the Navajo Nation. And they came up with a $3 million contract with someone, a former Trump White House guy, Mr. Fuentes, who formed the company 11 days before he got the contract for $3 million. Turns out the masks were made in China, and it turns out they weren't adequate for using in a healthcare setting. They were the N95 masks that we've all heard about. And this was all exposed by ProPublica. So this is the Indian Health Service is part of the Health and Human Services. So they gave this guy $3 million contract. Now the HHS is saying, look, we needed to get these masks. We weren't sure where we could get them, so we were just trying to get them anywhere we could. Well, that's fine. Give us the details of what went on here. Because I don't know about you, I wouldn't have thought that I would be able to form a company in the middle of a crisis and 11 days later get a $3 million contract. So I suspect something went on here that's not appropriate. And this is a pretty simple lawsuit. We asked for the documents about this contract and anything that went on in terms of awarding it, the document back and forth. We haven't gotten the information. So it's pretty obvious that HHS needs to get its act together and give us the documents to this simple request about a coronavirus mask contract that obviously is suspect. Obviously. And this goes to show you that this is why it doesn't matter who's the president of the United States. There's always going to be corruption. There's always going to be issues that need to be investigated. Maybe this is all innocent. Maybe this entrepreneur saw an opportunity. The government needed something and he put it together and he deserved the contract, and they changed the rules and it turned out they weren't good enough masks. Maybe it's all innocent. I don't know. Someone's going to ask the question. And we know that Congress didn't really do it. To the degree Democrats, I'm sure Democrats are the only ones interested in this one. But because they're so crazed anti-Trump partisans, they probably won't get a response from the administration, or we can't trust them to analyze it fairly. That's why Judicial Watch comes in and does independent investigations like this. So that's what we're doing on here. In the meantime, we've got multiple lawsuits and investigations on the use of hydroxychloroquine, on he's not a senator yet, Dr. Fauci's emails about coronavirus, WHO, and China in the first part of the crisis. We haven't gotten any emails yet. So we're on top of everything that you're concerned about. Everything you're concerned about, you can be sure we're likely investigating it.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.